Good day, ma'am. My name is Phoebe Cantones, and I'm going to report the Chapter 7, which is the laws regulating transportation establishment. So, here's the learning objectives. First, identify the laws affecting the transportation sector. Second, identify the rights of passengers of commercial transportation. Third, explain the relevance of these laws to the promotion of the tourism in the country. Topic outline. First, law on common carriers. Second, responsibility of common carriers. Third, liabilities of common carriers for the acts, employees, and stranger. Fourth, registration of aircraft. Fifth, regulation of the land transportation. Sixth, law on transportation of animals. And the last is public service law. Law on common carriers. The primary law that governs common carrier is the Civil Code of the Philippines as clearly implied from Article 1766 thereof, which states that in all matters not regulated by this code, the rights and obligation of common carriers shall be governed by the Code of Commerce and special laws. Article 1732. Common carriers are person, corporation, firms, and association engaged in the business of carrying or transporting passengers or goods of or both by land, water, or air for compensation, offering their services to the public. Discussion of the law. A common carrier is defined as one holding itself out to the public as engaged in the transportation of freight or passenger for hire. It is one who is in the business of transporting goods or person for hire as public utility. A private carrier, in contrast, is not in the business of transporting public employment, but hires out to deliver goods in particular cases. Both the Civil Code and Code of Commerce give clear-cut division between contracts of carriage of cargo and contracts of carriage of passengers. Because the rights and defense in each kind of contracts are different from others. Responsibility of common carriers. The law. Article 1733. Common carriers, from the nature of their business and for reason of public policy, are bound to observe extraordinary diligence in the vigilance over the goods and for the safety of the passengers transported by them, according to all the circumstances of each case. Article 1755. A common carrier is bound to carry the passengers safely as far as human care and foresight can provide, using the utmost diligence of very courteous person with due regard for all the circumstances. Article 1756. In case of death of or injuries to passengers, common carriers are presumed to have been at fault or to have acted negligently, unless they prove that they observe extraordinary diligence as prescribed in Article 1733 and 1755. Discussion of the law. As soon as the passenger puts his foot on the platform, the obligation of extraordinary diligence of the common carriers begin. The relation of carrier and passenger does not cease at the moment the passenger alights from the carrier's vehicles at a place selected by the carrier at the point of destination, but continues until the passenger has had a reasonable time or reasonable opportunity to leave the carrier's premises. Liabilities of common carriers for the acts of employees and strangers. The law. Article 1759. Common carriers are liable for the death or injuries to the passengers through the negligence of or willful acts of the former's employees, although such employees may have acted beyond the scope of their authority or in violation of the orders of the common carrier. This liability of the common carriers does not cease upon proof that they exercise the diligence of a good father of a family in the selection and supervision of their employees. Discussion of the law. For a bus company, due diligence in selection of employees is not satisfied by finding that the applicant possesses a professional driver's license. The employer should also examine the applicant for his qualification, experience, and record of service. Registration of aircraft. The law. Only aircraft owned by or leased to a citizen or citizens of the Philippines and which are not registered under the laws of any foreign country may be eligible for registration. Discussion of the law. The certificate of registration is conclusive evidence of ownership, except a proceeding which where such ownership is in issue or when the aircraft is only under lease. Regulation of the land transportation. The concept of land transportation system in the Philippines started when our ancestor invented means of locomotion. The early means of transportation used were animals in moving people and goods from place to place. Although the mean of land transportation during the early days were not as sophisticated as the modern vehicles of today and the roads were not as well constructed. The early Filipinos also observed some forms of laws to govern their mobility. These laws are informal and simple as specifying where animal could be used for certain purposes. However, the existence of these rules show that our ancestors had already felt the need to regulate the transportation system. Standard requirements. Law on transportation of animals. The law, by virtue of Republic Act 8485, also known as the Animal Welfare Act of 1998, it shall be the duty of any operator of any land, air, or water public utility transporting pets, wildlife, and all other animals to provide in all cases adequate, clean, and sanitary facilities for the safe convenience and delivery thereof to their consigned at a place of confinement. These animals shall be provided sufficient food and water while it transit for more than 12 hours or whenever necessary. Discussion of the law. In order to assure safety of passengers and crew members of aircraft or vessel, it is necessary to obtain a shipping permit from the Bureau of Quarantine before an animal may be allowed to be transported on board. The Bureau of Quarantine has required the following documents as certified by a licensed veterinary doctor or veterinary clinic hospital to be presented before a shipping permit will be issued. So first is certificate of rabies vaccination for not less than 30 days in case of international carriage. A certificate of 5-in-1 vaccination may also be required. Second, for agricultural animals, a certificate of clearance from the Kagen test and if MD or the foot and mouth disease test is required. Public service laws. The law, public service includes every person who may own, operate, manage, or control in the Philippines for hire and compensation, with general or limited clientele, whether permanent, occasional, or accidental, and done for general business purposes, any common carrier, railroad or street railway, traction railway, subway motor vehicle, steamboat or steamship, line, ferries and watercraft, shipyard, and etc. Unless otherwise exempt, no public service shall operate without having been issued a certificate of public convenience or a certificate of public convenience and necessity. Discussion of the law. Public utilities are privately owned and operate businesses whose service is essential to the general public. They are enterprises which specially cater to the needs of the public and conduce to their comfort and convenience. As such, public utility services are impressed with public interest and concern. The same is true with respect to the business of common carrier, which holds such a peculiar relation to the public interest that there is superinduced upon it the right of public regulation when private properties are affected with public interest.